Hey everyone, we're just going to jump right into making this slap buddy bracelet. Make sure you read over your tutorial so you have the right fabrics. I have my fabric for my feet, my tummy panel, and my left and my right side, along with my appliques and the threads and stuff. I cannot stress to please look over your tutorial. This tummy panel is a specific cutout size of an 8x8 or 7x7 with the 4x4 cutout. This middle piece here lines up to your left and to the left side of the design, so you want to make sure you cut it out correctly. I do try to keep the limbs in the 4x4 hoop to save on stabilizer, but no promise. Some of them are in larger ones and the 4x4 is split, unfortunately. The limbs, if you're going to stuff them at all, you must do the open version. You cannot pre-stuff any of your limbs. There is just not enough space in this design. So make sure you're running the open version of your limbs. I'm going to place two fabrics right sides together for this particular design. And my feet fins are all complete. I have my 5x7 hoop stabilized. The 4x4 is the same design, but we split it and there's matching markers so you can match everything up. But for a quicker video tutorial, I opted to run the 5x7. Step one is going to be your outline. This is your left side of the body. Once the design is complete, it will be on the left side. So float main fabric for the left side over the placement stitch or outline stitch. So step two is going to be an outline of the design. It helps stabilize the fabric for all your detail stitches, and it's also a great way to line up this hoop, the left side to the right side. All the remainder details of this design will differ from whichever design you're doing. So just read your tutorial, look at your JPEG or stitch map to know how your design, specifically your design, is going to go out. This one is the Hono. I wanted to point out here that we do this zigzag stitch on any area of an applique that'll be on the inside of the stuffy, so you don't have to trim close to that zigzagged area. Trim close on the smooth straight stitches. Don't forget your water-soluble stabilizer to have smoother satin stitches and detail stitches, especially on any fabric that is fuzzy, furry, minky, which is my preferred fabric for any of these stuffies. So that is that corner piece I was talking about in the beginning of the film. And in this design, there is a foot placement as well. So you're going to take your foot or limb, put it down like how you want it to look once it's all complete. And then you take it and you just flip it over to the inside of the stuffy. You want that raw edge to be on the outside of the placement or outline stitch, because the tack down will be right on top. Because this foot is made of fuzziness, it kind of stands out a little bit, so I'm going to tape it down to make sure it's nice and secure for the tack down. Once your limbs and any parts are tacked down, we're going to add the tummy panel. So I'm showing you this face up just so you can kind of see how it lines up, but that corner that you cut out, that 4x4 corner that you cut out, fits perfectly on that corner placement stitch that we created. You just want to make sure that you're doing it right side face down, and that any parts that you have are not going to be in the tack down area. This first tack down just goes around the arm for the left side. So again, right side face down and match up the corners. I'm gonna be a little fussy here. Now I heard a sound from my machine, and it's because it's too bulky. So on my particular machine, I have to raise the presser foot. So this is really good if you're new or if you have a single needle and you hear something that seems off. It may be that the pressure foot is too low or too high. So automatically it's set to 1.5. That's the recommended height, which is great for low items, like if you're monogramming something. But when you're doing in the hoop items like this and it has extra parts to it and limbs, you're going to want to raise that foot during the bulky areas. So I'm going to raise my foot up fairly high. This is 4 millimeters. And I'm actually going to readjust it again because when it hit the foot there, it shifted my fabric. So within the hoop items, you do have to baby it more. You can't just walk away. You have to pay attention and listen, especially if you have machines that may be more particular. So I'm rewinding it back to the beginning of this particular step, which is going to tack down this arm area. Keep your hands out of the way. Once it finishes the bulky area, I'm going to go ahead and relower the foot. Because if the foot is actually too high on areas that have no bulk, it'll skip stitches. And you'll hear that too and be like, what is going on? Why is it skipping stitches? Why do I have these extra loops? It's because the pressure foot was too high. So I have to go back in here. And it's just one of the deals with this particular machine. It does not auto adjust like multi-needles do. I'm going to lower it back down to the recommended 1.5 millimeters because this is thin fabric and I know it's not too thick. So I can run it at the recommended 1.5 millimeters. So this is something that we do at OAD is we add a stopping star at the end of our designs if there's any possible bulky part of the design. That way you can safely remove it from the embroidery machine and it won't snag on anything that you've already added to the hoop. But you're done with this hoop. Let's move on to the next one, the right side. So it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to have your placement stitch, outline stitch of the right side design. You're going to place your fabric right side up, run step 2. It's going to tack it all down, give you that outline again. And I'm just going to go ahead and go through all of these detail steps. Run all your appliques and all that good stuff. So yours will look different. Just follow along with your instructions, and you can skip the lashes, you can skip the cheeks for a different look. We include them as separate steps so you basically have 2 in 1 design. After all your details are complete, you're going to have your placement stitches for your limb and the matching corner piece there. It'll match up to the corner marker on your left side. So it's a good idea to run these in a contrasting thread. First thing we're going to do is do the leg on this side. So again, have it how you want it to look once it's complete, and flip it over with the raw edge over that placement line. If it's bulky like mine looks, you might want to tape it down, especially for single needles. And I know it looks really off, but I went ahead and this is what I'm doing here. I'm looking at it compared to my left side to see how it looks in comparison, but it actually looks really good. So score, I don't have to unpick it and redo it, so yay. I would if I had to. Now it's time to actually put your left side onto your right side. The first thing it's going to do is go around the body, so make sure your limbs are out of the way of that area. You need to also check the tummy panel and make sure it's out of the way of the cheek area. You don't want it to get snagged, so I'm going to fold mine over and tape it down. Bless you, Sandy. My little dog over here is coughing. So make sure that the foot is tucked inside, out of the way. I'm just going to tuck it into the arm area. And you're going to match up the satin stitch to the satin stitch and the placement corner on the left side to the placement corner on the right side. You can match those up. Get really fussy about it. You want these to match up nicely. Once the tack down around the body and the head are complete, there's a moving marker off to the side. And this is so you can safely take the hoop off of the machine so you can readjust it. I'm going to remove the pins, and you're going to flip the left arm, because this was the left arm, over. It kind of gets a little snaggy snag there because of the tape I have. And you're going to make sure that those limbs are still tucked in. I'm actually going to take the left leg and tuck it underneath what was just now tacked down, so it'll really hold it in place. And the whole point of this is we're going to tack down the right arm. So take your tummy panel and flip it over the right arm, and you're going to smooth it out. You don't want your limbs in the way. You just want to make sure it's nice and smooth and flat. It's going to do the final tack down around the right arm now. Don't forget the last step we had was a moving marker, so you're going to want to skip ahead past that step, smooth it out, and go ahead and press that final tack down around the arm. And with my machine again, because of how it runs, I do have to still pause it whenever it's over a thick or thin part on the hoop. I just pause, I readjust my pressure foot, and I repeat. Every machine is different though. With the final step, there is a stopping star to prevent the needle from realigning to the center of the hoop. That way you can take it off safely. And we are on the home stretch. So don't mind me while I speed this up. You're going to remove all the stabilizer. You're going to cut around your new design. I make slits in any of the corners and around the curves so that when it's stuffed and it has items inside of it like the bracelet, it's a smooth turn. I'm going for my hemostats here. I love the hemostats. Oh my goodness, they really help turn these limbs right side out. And I smooth out all my corners and oh, it's so cute already. So you're going to take your slap bracelet. I got mine on Amazon in bulk. You want to see which way it's curving, and you want to make sure you're putting it in so that your arms are going to curve inward, so that this bracelet buddy will be hugging your wrist, or whoever you gift it to's wrist. So I put it in mostly all the way through, and then I fold it in half and stick in the other half to the other side of the arm. And I have to wiggle it around, shimmy it. There we go. Now it's all the way in there, and you can stuff the plushy part that you created as firm or as soft as you want it to be. Maybe add some beads in there or something to give it a little weight. Wouldn't that be fun? Make it into like a running weight for your arms to gain some strength. Anyway, so sew the top of the head, and now you have a really cute bracelet buddy. I hope that this helped, and I hope that you share your fun stitch outs. Let me know any bracelet buddies you want us to create next. Bye!